I had just recently got off work at my midnight job for my warehouse. I decided to stop by the local Walmart for some midnight groceries. This was a Walmart that I've been going to for almost all my life, and I'm 19 years old at this time. When I got to the Walmart and parked, I got a few looks from people outside, probably because I was driving a brand new Dodge Charger. This wasn't anything special like a luxury car, but it looked nice, so I knew it would get some attention. I started my usual shopping: wheat bread, ham, cheese, and some bananas. I noticed a woman, however, lingering around every aisle and corner I took. She didn't have a shopping cart and didn't look like she was buying anything. I kind of brushed it off because I didn't really care too much. Besides, I was just here for groceries and then I can go home and sleep. However, when I was checking out, I also noticed her walking around the lane, circling around like she was stalking her prey. After paying for my stuff and walking towards the exit, that's when she broke the ice and said, "Hey, I need your help. There's a man that's been following me and he's going to hurt me." At this point, I didn't even know what to do because I've never encountered any situation like this in my life. Adding to the fact that I was a socially awkward person and I had very little experience with this, she kept persisting for a ride far away from this place and wasn't giving me any other option. Reluctantly, I gave in and told her, "Okay, just follow me quick." We got to my car and I threw my groceries in there fast. She got in instantly right as I unlocked the door. Without even asking her where we're going, I started driving off the Walmart parking lot and into the streets. After a minute, I broke the silence and asked her, "Where are we going?" But she kept saying, "He's going to hurt me. Keep driving." At this point, I was super confused. I literally just let a strange woman inside my car, supposedly being chased by men, and now I'm driving around the city on a wild goose chase. This went on for about 10 minutes. I had enough at this point and was going to let the police deal with it and told her we're going to the local police station. Strangely, this somehow scared her, which was the opposite reaction that I was expecting. She kept saying, "No, don't. They can't find out." I was pissed and just wanted her out of my car. This was getting out of control, she said. She needed help from someone following her, and now she doesn't want to go to the police. I made a U-turn and kept driving and hoping we were losing the so-called man that was apparently chasing us. I was weaving through traffic at midnight going over 120 miles per hour, flashing other drivers in front of me with my high beams just so they would pull over. This was the most dangerous stunt I've ever pulled, and I've even turned off my headlights just to reduce the visibility from the so-called man chasing us. After quite some time, there was no one even close to my rearview mirror. I reached the next city and got a sigh of relief when I saw a police officer on patrol in the street and pulled up to him, rolling down my window. I begged him for help and told him to take this woman because she said someone was after her. After talking to him and him talking about filing out paperwork and reporting it to the police station, he eventually became the most useless cop I've ever met. This woman strangely wasn't even asking him for help and was just sitting there quietly inside my car. After a useless speech from the police officer, he told us to have a good night. Nothing got accomplished, and the strange woman was still in my car. I noticed the whole trip she kept texting on her iPhone and wasn't even fazed one bit. Since my car had a dash cam, I guess she saw it and questioned me non-stop about it. It was to the point where she didn't even want to be recorded and was scared. I told her to rest assured everything was being recorded since the start. This apparently startled her, and now she was saying I was crazy and told me to let her out now. To me, that's all I wanted too, and found a local racetrack gas station where I dropped her off there. She got out acting as if nothing happened. I drove home at a sigh of relief because I was no longer involved in whatever situation she got me into. After going into work the next day and telling my coworkers about what happened to me last night, they were shocked. However, they all came to a conclusion that I hadn't been thinking about this the whole time. She was most likely planning a robbery and was trying to get me to go to an abandoned alleyway or building, and once I got there, she would have multiple men with guns meet up there as well and rob me. I was so naive back then that I never thought about something like this could have happened. But letting it all sink into my little brain, everything made sense. After our shift had ended, me and my coworkers went out after work to buy a pocket knife and a handgun. He told me to always keep this on you just in case anything like this happens again. I took his advice, and this was the last time I ever let a stranger inside my car. I worked part-time as a late-night stalker for Walmart. My shift would start right around midnight and end after graveyard shift. I worked in the back, stocking toothpaste and deodorant towards my garden area. My job was actually kind of laid back. I would have both my AirPods in and just stock shelves until they were full. The job couldn't get any easier than this. One night, when I was doing my usual late-night routine, I was jamming to my favorite artist, The Weeknd, and being in my own little universe when suddenly all the lights from the building turned off. This was utterly strange because I know for a fact it didn't rain when I got here, nor was it planning to rain. I could see dozens of other Walmart employees walking around with their flashlights from their phones turned on. Everyone was just as confused as I was to what happened. We all gathered around with our manager towards the front where the checkout lanes were, and then they had conducted and found out that the lights were definitely cut off. He had called for someone to come fix it, and it would be a while. It was definitely no storm. At this point, everyone was talking, socializing, and taking snaps of the whole situation. I didn't mind either because I know I was still going to get paid regardless. I didn't really talk to anyone at my job, and I was kept to myself, so I took a stroll around the building with my flashlight on. I ended up at the electronics section where they keep all the phones, laptops, and games, while still jamming to my music, when I noticed someone there quietly stuffing a bag of merchandise into a bag. He had on a full dark hoodie and a mask covering his entire face. Keep in mind, it was 4 a.m. at the time, and we were all confirmed that when the lights went off, there were no customers inside the building. I froze and quickly hid myself on the next aisle. I turned off my flashlight and paused the loud music. I was all ears since I couldn't see the man through the aisle, but I could definitely hear him helping himself to some expensive equipment into whatever bag he had. I was thinking to myself, could he be the one who cut off all the lights? Right now, I didn't really care whoever did it, but all I know was that this guy was taking complete advantage of the entire situation and stealing anything he could get his hands on. I tried my best to keep quiet and eventually tried to tiptoe out of there until I accidentally knocked over some ink cartridges. He instantly heard the commotion from the other aisle and started running in the opposite direction. I hurried back to where everyone was at, towards the front of the checkout lanes, and told my manager. He was horrified and told everyone to stay put while he checks it out. I tried to go with him, but he told me to stay. He went off towards the darkness with an actual flashlight in his hand. I was honestly worried for him because for all I know, that masked man could have had a weapon of some sort. Moments later, my manager returned with nothing, and the guy who came to fix the light showed up as well. Once everything was back and running, we were all told to resume our work. My manager never saw anyone, and the security cameras weren't working at the time. We couldn't really tell what he stole and if he was alone or not, but he was long gone and covered his tracks pretty well. If you were ever going to rob a Walmart, then this was probably the smartest thing any robber could do because he sure hit us blind.